Year Review.
Can you feel the excitement? Can you hear the memes? Can you smell the drama and taste the salt? This could only mean one thing. It's high noon in the Overwatch League. Over the last 10 weeks, we've seen teams rise, fall, and completely collapse. Let's see how the teams are doing at the halfway point.
You're 2-0 after week 1 and looking extremely strong. It would take some massive controversy to take you down. And Dreamcasper is being accused of pedophilia. And there's a ton of screenshots to back it up. And he's suspended indefinitely. At least you can still beat the Dragons. You lost to superior teams. So your player looks pretty good though. Houston, we have mediocrity. Only a brick wall could stop you. Its name is the Outlaws. Let's hope Stage 2 wasn't just a hot streak. You beat weak opponents? Are the Valiant showing consistency?
My curse continues, but it's just how the groups are set up with EDG and SKT coming out of groups on one of each side. I cannot imagine a Western team beating these teams.
Yeah, and I know Black Canola is a big TSM fan, and as I have previously advised him on Twitter, why not just be a fan of a good team, and then you can be happy.
Walkout game is
And what does he do about it? He pays a goddamn marching band to do the work for him, while he prances awkwardly in the background. You know what a real... 10-0. Need I say more? The Uprising are the underdog story of a lifetime, and even though they came up short in the finals, Boston fans should be ecstatic with the results this stage. And the business model for this team has been consistency. Mistakes came...
That's quite big. Impressive.
All-time record for consecutive losses in a major sports league was 28, held by basketball's Philadelphia 76ers. After the season, the record is now 40. Dragons, you didn't just beat the record, you destroyed it. It's tons of credit. After the rough patch in Stage 2, many people, including me, thought the Valiant were on their way straight to the dumpsters of In-N-Out. However, this team made a flurry of moves between stages, signing new players, releasing old ones, getting a new coach, and it worked. What interests you so much about Overwatch and Overwatch League and not other games like Fortnite or Rainbow Six Siege? I think maybe a little bit of a desire to be different, right? Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, very, very good games, popular games, but everyone's doing them. There aren't so many people are jumping ship going from Overwatch to Fortnite, right? And that's because that's what interests them, and that's great. But we're getting kind of a void in Overwatch content creators now. And a lot of people who played Overwatch a lot are moving over to other games, and I want to be one of those people that can try and fill in that void in Overwatch content creators. Welcome to the first installment of SIR, or Season in Review. We all know where the Dragons are now, but how did they get there? What led them to their abysmal season? Those are the questions that this video will seek to answer by following the team through the season. Their ups, their downs. Hey, but on the bright side, XQC is back. He has an infectious personality and might just be able to turn this team around, and he's gone again. Okay, see ya. So that leaves us with... Whoa. The number 5 and number 6 seeds? What a crazy timeline we live in. For all of you on Twitter complaining that Overwatch isn't a sport, I would certainly take this over watching Cavs v Warriors for the 4th year in a row, but that's a rant for another video. Today, the top 2 teams in the Overwatch League are... Well, this is great, right? The Overwatch League just expanded the teams in stage playoffs from 3 to 4, so this time the Seoul Dynasty should have no problem... Oh, come on, guys! Well, okay. At this point, teams were pretty consistently figuring out Fleta. Seriously, he went from being the sole hard carry to being a non-factor in most games because other teams just knew that countering Fleta was the key to beating the Dynasty. Spitfire, however, more than any other team in the league, was experimenting with different team comps. They were swapping Hagapun and Bedosin, Closer and Nuss, Wuyal and Fury, Hureg and Birdring. We would even occasionally get a Rascal and Fissure sighting. Not much was thought of this at this point in the league. After all, they had an entire team of superstars, so why wouldn't they switch people around and experiment? When the experiment went wrong, however, it cost the Spitfire. Great match, and I highly recommend watching it if you haven't yet. Finland eventually came away with the 2-1 victory and will be going to BlizzCon alongside South Korea. Aw, Shadowburn. We didn't want you to become Shadowburn. South Korea didn't lose a map throughout the entire event, including the playoffs, and a large chunk of credit went to Miro, because he simply played Winston different than anyone else. Remember, this is Season 2 or 3 of competitive play, and most teams favored Reinhardt-anchored compositions, but Miro changed everything in this event. Here, in this clip, watch the way Miro expertly weaves in and out of Australia's push, the way he times his Primal Rage, and the way he perfectly distances every jump. Through week 4 out of 5, 8 games have gone by, and the Dogmen are one of 5 teams that are still undefeated. How confident are you that you guys can go 10-0?
I'm pretty confident. We've put a lot of work in the past week into preparing for our matches this weekend, specifically for those teams, not just generally, really polishing off our own synergy, and I feel really good about my players and about the work we put in.
I'm glad to hear that you're confident, but what teams are you the most scared of? Either teams that are undefeated right now, or teams that are not undefeated that you might end up facing off against in the playoffs?
Well, I gotta say, I think both of our opponents this week, Phase 2 and Underwater Squad, are, I would say, the other 2 of the top 3 teams in Open Div right now. So
the explosive DPS duo of Surefour and Agilities are back, and XQC has an actual off-tank partner this year with Note, the breakout star from the Boston Uprising, by his side. The biggest question marks for Team Canada are with their supports. Bonnie got a lot of criticism from many sources, including myself, with his Overwatch League performance, while Crimzo was a relative unknown as the only player in the starting 6 that has never seen the Overwatch League stage. While they did hold up... 3, 2, 1... surprise, hello, ta-da, I don't know what else to say. And the forehead spam begins. Let me set the stage of round 2 for you. You had the Season 1 semi-finalist Kongdu Uncia. You had the tournament favorites and powerhouses Lunatic High. You had last year's winner and the last Western team remaining, Envious. And then you had Runaway, whose biggest achievement prior to this was an upset of Fnatic. Betting on them was practically suicide. But Vic is the final Misfits player remaining on this roster, and man does he have history. This dude was one of the biggest names in the game since beta, and has found a way to stay relevant ever since. However, signs of wear have really been starting to show on him recently. Vic showed flashes of brilliance over Season 1, but was often overshadowed by his DPS partners Logix and Sayaplayer. He was an overall disappointment on the stage, though there has been lots of talk that his cons and leadership were an integral part to the team, and may be the main reason that Vic is still there. Well, if it is, then he better work on his Korean. Hard to give a pep talk when the rest of his team doesn't speak his language. Joining him is... back yet. He's not getting it. Raucus is, wow. Okay. What is this? Is that like his belt? Is that his that's his Team America belt. His belt doesn't want Okay. So that's a bug. We can submit that to the US forums. Not sure. That just looks so funny. Raucus is getting a hell of a wedgie right now. But more important...
199. If Australia beats South Korea, will you guys be ready?
Having Custa, an almost unanimously well-liked and charismatic player on their team, definitely helped, but when they walked onto the stage in their kangaroo onesies, they sent a clear message. We want to have fun. Want to join us? And the answer to that was a clear yes.
That's why my takeaway from Team Australia is that Australian contenders just gained a lot of viewers. Players like Trill, CKM, and Kraken have all gotten their names out there, and I think Team Australia have drummed up a lot of interest in their region. That's about as big a victory as you could ask for. Look at it from the Defiance point of view. Look at the position they're in. They're a brand new team, trying to build up their roster and their brand, trying to make their city care about them. And in comes Toronto Esports offering a show match that could make them lose all that they've been building. Let's look at with how much GOATS is the centerpiece of today's meta, it's kind of weird to think about how the team that is its namesake never made it to contenders. Until today. Yes, First Generation is a rebrand of GOATS. However, you wouldn't recognize the lineup. They're the first team to take on a majority pink color for their brand, and their logo is actually an anime reference, specifically to the anime Toaru Kagaku no Railgun, and more specifically this character, Mikoto Misaka, who for one reason or another can manipulate electricity and has the nickname Railgun. This reference is even more apparent in the original logo designs for the team, which shows that the team was literally going to be named the Hangzhou Railgun.
Today we've got Dividing by Zero, an up-and-comer whose YouTube channel has just reached 15,000 subscribers. He makes competitive Overwatch content, including discussion posts, power rankings, and things that he learned from watching the most recent tournaments. And one of my favorite videos from him is when he did a What I Learned from each team at the World Cup.
First of all, the team is already together in China and working with RUI. This is great, because on the Dragons, RUI was only able to come to America and start working the team directly around Stage 2, when there was already a huge mess for him to try and clean up. Being able to work with the team from the start should be great, as RUI proved his ability to put a great team together in the last Overwatch World Cup, where he coached the Chinese team to second place. He is also reuniting with some of his Overwatch World Cup team in Late Young and Yveltal. The other thing I like about this team is that they are backed by famous Chinese esports organization Royal Never Give Up, who've established a winning culture in League of Legends. Will this be enough to prove that Chinese Overwatch can succeed in Overwatch League? I sure hope so. The Chinese community really deserves it. So here we are. I'm gonna keep this quick, but I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thanks to every single one of you so much. I'm not gonna be that guy who comes on and says, oh, I didn't think I was even gonna get 10 subscribers. You know, like, I kinda thought, I'd get a couple hundred, if I was lucky I'd get a couple thousand. But having almost 20,000 people subscribe to you in, how long has it been, 9 months? It's ridiculous. It surpasses every single goal that I've had for this channel at this point, and it's just, I am so thankful to all of you who have made my growth as a YouTuber possible. Actually, one of the coolest things was going through these videos and watching the quality increase. Like, I'm getting better at this, and I think over the year, I kind of found my style, Like, at the beginning of the year, I was kind of a urinating tree clone, but as the year went on, I kind of found my own rhythm and my own voice to add to the videos, which I thought was really cool. And of course, I upgraded my equipment so that everything looks better, and I got better at editing. And I'm so happy with how this year has gone as far as my YouTube channel goes. And 2018, I feel like, has opened so many doors for me, and I just can't wait to see what the next year brings. And I hope you guys will join me. So I'll see you guys in 2019, but until then, don't get tilted.